Hi guys, it's Amy. I'm going to be talking about an injury that one of my coaches had years ago when he was a high school athlete. So Chris played baseball, and I knew he had issues before with tearing his ligaments in his ankle. He played all different sports: football, baseball, basketball, and in this particular instance, he was running to second base, and when he slid, he actually broke his tibia fibula bone. So it usually takes a lot for that bone to break. So I was thinking maybe it was a stress factor, but it actually completely broke. So I'm thinking he may have had an overuse injury in that area without even realizing, but there could have been a couple of intrinsic and extrinsic factors that actually led to this break in his bone. So as I just stated, he did have a wear and tear in his ligaments from prior sports and prior years. So previous injury is definitely an intrinsic factor that could have played a role in the breaking of his tibia fibula. Another thing that may have caused this break is his flexibility and range of motion may have been limited, especially in his hip and ankle, particularly in his ankle, again, because of that ligament tear, or because he did stress out his ligaments. They could have over time loosened if he didn't properly rehab it. If he has poor balance or coordination, these again are all intrinsic risk factors that could have contributed to him breaking his bone. If he had a weak core, his legs are core, his hip muscles are weak, again, intrinsic factors. Depending on his bone mineral density, right, that also plays a role in how quickly or susceptible our bones are to breaking. When we think about extrinsic factors that could have led to this injury, factors such as impact force, right? So when you think about Newton's law 2 and even 3, for every action there's a reaction. Factors that could influence the impact force would be things like the sliding velocity, right? So the faster you slide, the greater the momentum and potential impact force. When you're trying to come to a halt, to a stop, right, as you're sliding. The angle of the slide, things like the surface conditions, right? So for example, sliding on grass versus sliding on dirt. Grass, there's a lot less friction on grass than there is dirt. Other extrinsic factors could be things like the weather. What if it's raining or, and there's wet grass? Other extrinsic factors could be sliding technique, coaching, right? Things like this are all considered extrinsic. The equipment that you're wearing, the shoes that you're wearing. Some interventions that could be done to prevent the injury from reoccurring again is Chris should be making sure, or should have been making sure going forward, that he was wearing proper foot training, strength training, specifically like the muscles around the ankles, the knees, working on your core stability, your proprioception training, balance, as mentioned in the textbook, cross training, right? So you're strengthening other muscles around your usual main prime movers, right? So you're not constantly putting stress on the same bones, the same joints all the time. So it's important that you switch it up. Proper warm-up is definitely crucial. Proper cool down, nutritional intake even, right? Really working on getting enough vitamins, mineral, sleep. These are all things that should be done to lower the risk of injury in the future. And I'm sorry for saying a million times. I'm not the best speaker. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to listening to all of your stories.